Okay, I'm on my way to Dorchester from Weymouth. I'm going to a BNI meeting, which is the Business Networks International. I'll come to that in a minute. I'm going to Dorchester from Weymouth, so I thought I'd use this time. It takes about 20 minutes to get there, so I thought I'd take this time just to make a quick video, video log, and talk to you today about BNI and how it can maybe help your business. Now, the Business Network International have been going for quite a few years, I think about 20-25 years. They're a huge organisation all over the world, got many members, with some unique features. So I joined them a few weeks ago. I did first see them when I was in Spain in about 2006, and I was invited along to a couple of breakfasts, met some of the local business people there. Thought it was a really good idea, but because we were planning on coming back to England, I didn't really bother with it. I went to 2 breakfasts and I spoke to some people there, and I could see how it worked and saw all the benefits and everything. But like I said, we were coming back to England, and I didn't think it was worth it at the time. And then earlier this year, I was a crow eating something on the road. Earlier this year, I was out in Weymouth, and I was enticed or invited to go to a breakfast in Weymouth. I'd already been a member of the Chamber of Commerce and been going to their breakfasts, and someone invited me to the BNI meeting in Weymouth. They were looking for a photographer there, and at the time I thought nothing of it. I was really busy, so I didn't bother with it, and obviously that place got filled. Now, the unique thing about the BNI is that only the members that are allowed in each chapter, they call it, each area has a chapter. So Weymouth has a chapter, Dorchester has a chapter, Poole, Bournemouth, they all have single chapters, and within that chapter you're only allowed to have one representative from each industry. So you're only allowed one photographer, one printing company, one chef, one pub, or one videographer, one internet person, all that kind of thing. So they try and fill each chapter with about 40 or 50 members, all from different industries. Now, what then happens is each member will actively promote all the other members. So let's say I'm out and about and I come across someone, they're talking about they want some logos done for their t-shirts, or they want t-shirts as well. I can then put them in the direction of the designer at the BNI in my chapter, who will then help them with their logos, and then also put them in touch with the t-shirt manufacturer, so they can then help them. And obviously I don't get paid for this because it's on a referral basis. It's basically, their motto is give as gain. So, you know, if you do your best to get other people work, they'll do their best to get you work. So likewise, if one of these guys is out and about and they hear of someone getting married, hopefully they're going to promote me. They're going to say, well, look, we know Nick Stubbs, here's one of his cards. We all swap cards, so we all have a bunch of each other's cards. So if they do meet someone looking to get married, they will then give my card over, they'll go to my site, and it's kind of a good introduction. It's a referral, which is better than, in many respects, better than plain advertising, where you're basically getting a cold customer. At least with this way, the BNI members, you've got that first point of call, that first introduction. So people are obviously giving you a bit of a warm-up before you meet that couple. They've already met someone through you. So, you know, it's good in that respect. And the way it works is, once you've paid your membership, you go to a meeting every week. If you can't make the weekly meeting, then you have someone to take your place, and it could be another member, it could be someone else from another chapter, or a friend. As long as someone's there to represent you and pick up your leads for you, it's a good way of getting business. And I've just actually realised I'm talking so much, I've gone completely the wrong way, and I'm going into Weymouth rather than Dorchester. So I've got to turn around in a minute. But yeah, the way it works is very clever. So each chapter has different timings for their meetings. Some have breakfast meetings, which could be really early, maybe about 7 o'clock, so that you can get the 1.5 hour, 2 hour meeting out of the way before anyone starts work. My chapter in Dorchester, I couldn't join the Weymouth one because the photographer slot was filled, but my chapter in Dorchester has their meetings between 12 and 2 on a Thursday, every Thursday. So it's good for me because I'm self-employed, and most of the people there are, or even if they're employed by somebody, they're able to get the time off work on behalf of that company and go and get the go to the BNI meeting and hopefully get some leads. Now, the other way it works is that obviously there's a big lorry coming, so I've got to be quick. The other way it works is that obviously if you need any of the services of the 40 or 30 people that are at the BNI meeting that are part of your group or chapter, then obviously it's in your interest to use their services. So, for example, I'm getting some t-shirts done for my limited company, and I'm using one of the printers there, one of the t-shirt printers. They do a really good service, and they, rather than just putting a print on there, they'll actually create a stitch pattern for the logo. So obviously it's going to last a lot longer, so the actual logo and lettering is stitched rather than transferred on. So I'm going to use their services. It's a great way of me using them, getting a testimonial for them. Then it makes it easier for me when I'm actually out and about. Someone asks me, where did you get your t-shirts done? It's an instant referral for that person. So, you know, it works to actually use their services. And one of the guys there already, I've only been there 2 weeks, is looking to use my services for his business. So, you know, I can do some photography and video work and make some promotional material for him. And again, I think that's going to be an ongoing thing, and maybe hopefully with some of the others, but they're internal referrals. So you're doing work for the people within the group. Now again, if I do a good job, which I'm going to, I always try and do the best I can. If I over deliver and make it really good, then obviously that guy's going to want to refer me to other people when he comes across anyone needing weddings or portraits or commercial work, commercial video. So it's obviously in my interest to do my best for him. So that's kind of how it works. Now today I'm going to the meeting, and it's from 12 till 1:30, 2 o'clock. But I'm going there early. It's only 10 o'clock at the moment, because what we all do as well, it's a new chapter, it's only been going a few weeks. What we all do is, at some point, we make time to have one-to-one meetings with all the other members. Now this gives us the chance to really get to know that person. So you sit down with them for an hour or two, and you both discuss what you do in business, and you show your work, and you talk about, you know, what you've done in the past, and you really get to know that person rather than just in a generic meeting. You're actually concentrating on a one-to-one basis, so you have a better understanding of what they do, and that makes it easier for you to pitch them to other people. So I've got one of those meetings this morning, then I've got the BNI meeting, then I've got another one-to-one after the meeting. So pretty much my day is filled with today with marketing. Doing these meetings. So you have to kind of look at this as for me, it's pretty much a day off of work. But for a lot of people, it'll just be a 2-hour meeting before work on a Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. So it doesn't really impede with your day-to-day running of the business. But I'm kind of throwing myself into this a bit, so I can really kind of hit the floor running with this and hopefully get some of these people to promote me. And I'm doing a lot to promote them. I'm working with one of the guys. He's got a fantastic product. I've already been out promoting it for him. We've struck a deal. So I'm actually actively promoting his product as well. Which hopefully will earn some money for us, and obviously a lot for him, get his product recognised, and it's good testimonial for both of us. It's good business all round. So for me, it's worth putting in that extra effort just to get more business and more active and more out and about, because with a photography business, the only way to get any business in is actually to get yourself out and about doing whatever. As long as you're out of the house, out of the office, and you're mingling and meeting people and networking, then you're going to get business in. If you just sit at home all day thinking that the internet or some magic pill or some advertising is going to bring all your work to you, you could be mistaken, unless you're an absolute top-notch Saatchi advertiser. You've got to really get out and speak to the right people, network, get people to know you, get people to understand what you do and how serious you are and how dedicated you are, and then slowly but surely those people will start to really understand your work and feel happy promoting you. You can't promote someone unless you know them, and that's another thing with BNI, why we do these one-to-one meetings, because you can't just turn up, join BNI, become a member and then promote someone that you've never met before. It doesn't kind of work like that, and I would certainly not do that myself. So I want to get to know these people and make sure that if I'm going to refer them to my business clients and my friends and family, then I want to know that they do a good job and that they can be relied on, they can be trusted, and they do a good service, and it's reasonable money. So, you know, it's all above board, it's all fair, but hopefully it's going to, over time, bring in a lot more business. So I'm actually checking it out at the moment, and I'm quite impressed so far. I've only been to one free meeting. You get a chance to go to 2 breakfasts before you actually decide to become a member, so you can really try it out and see what goes on. But I did that. I went to one actually, because I'd already been to a couple in Spain. I went to one meeting in Dorchester, understood it all, really met a really nice bunch of people, and decided to join. And I've been to 2 meetings so far, and like I said, the good things have already happened and started to happen. But you think you're doing 52 meetings a year or you can get an assistant or somebody else to go on your behalf. But it's a bit of a commitment, I suppose, but it's worth trying, I think, because it could lead to a lot more business, a lot more referrals, and also you're networking massively. You're going into businesses you wouldn't necessarily have seen before, and obviously there's some ways of doing extra business with those people that are there. Give you an example. In our chapter, we're putting together a power group, and it's a power wedding group. So you've got me as the wedding photographer or videographer. We've got cake makers, we've got designers, we've got website builders, we've got caterers, we've got hotels. So this core group of people that have all got interests in weddings, we get together and actively promote each other. So we've got this real kind of robust mini business within the BNI and within our own businesses, so that it's a core business. So you think about that, if you've got 7 or 8 people in one of these power networks, such as a wedding one, which is great for photographers, then you can't help but get more work in, because you're all actively promoting each other. So if I get a wedding in, I can say, look, we've got a one-stop shop, I've got caterers I can recommend, I put them on my website, and we basically farm out all these referrals to each other, and hopefully the others will do the same. So if a hotel gets a wedding inquiry, they can say, look, we've got an in-house photographer, this is who we use and recommend, and they do the same with cakes and dresses and things like that. So once you're in the BNI, it's actually good to form one of these core groups, especially with photography, because obviously there's lots of avenues you can take it, and then obviously hopefully get more work in. Now, once you are a member, there's an initial fee to join, which is your lifetime membership for all the time you're a member. Then there's an annual fee, both of which come to about £654. You think that's a lot of money, but all it takes is for me to get one wedding throughout the whole year, and that's paid for. And then you pay £10 for the breakfast or lunch every week. And we have reasonable food, but it pays for the coffees, the drinks, the water, the hire of the room, and obviously the food. So it's not bad. It's a bit of an investment. I worked it out to be around £1,000 a year, and when I think of what I've spent on Google AdWords and Facebook ads and all these other things, then because I'm getting really into the core of local businesses and local referrals, for me it's a lot better, and I'm hoping it's going to pay off. But it's call it £1,000 gamble, but it's nowhere near the same as if you were to put an advert running on Google and have thousands of clicks and spend £1,000. I'm not sure how much business that would get you. But also, this is an ongoing thing, so you've got ongoing referrals, ongoing business dealings, and a lot of these businesses, because we're all photographers, they may need photography for their promotional work, for their websites. They'll hear of other work. So I think for photographers, if you're serious about starting a business, it's worth finding out if there's a BNI near you that's got a photography slot available. Because remember, once they've gone, that slot is filled, and they're not allowed to have 2 photographers in that chapter in that town. So what I would recommend you did is, in the first instance, find out where your local chapter is, near where you live. Go along there. If they have got a slot available for a photographer, I'm just trying to negotiate a busy roundabout in Dorchester here. If they have got a photographer already, then you need to find the next nearest chapter that don't have a photographer, and then either one of the 2, either the closest one you can find that you're interested in, go along to 2 of their breakfast meetings. Just go along, sit down, listen to the meeting, see how it works. Every single chapter operates in exactly the same way. Some think it's a bit strict, but if they didn't do that, then it's kind of going to fall apart. This system works. It works really well, and they generate millions and millions of pounds worth of business a year. So go along, check it out, have a look at the system and see how it works. Talk to people there. See if you think it's something you can do and it will get you business in, because every meeting you stand up and say what you're looking for this week. So this week I'm going to stand up and say I'm looking for weddings for next year. Next week I might stand up and say I've got a special offer on portraits. So all the guys there will then go out and tell people, if they come across them, that Nick's got a special offer on portraits, or he's got a deal with weddings for next year, for 2012 or 2013, whenever it is. So go along there and just see how that works, and if you like it, go to the second meeting. And I would say, if you've got the money and if you can afford it, I'd say it's worth giving it a go to just try and push your business and promote it. But if you are going to join, make sure you've got really good, snazzy, nice, snappy cards, business cards. Don't skimp and get the Vistaprint very cheap 500 for £5 jobs. Get yourself some really nice, well-made, designed business cards. get some good albums together, get a good portfolio together, so you can impress the other members there, the other members of the chapter, so that they're obviously more keen to go out and promote you because they've seen your work, they've seen how professional you are. And also get yourself, if you haven't got one already, a website, and make it really good. Put only your best work on there. So obviously, again, when they're promoting you, they're happy to promote you. They feel confident that you're going to do a good job and obviously make them look good. So I'm going into Dorchester now. We've hit a bit of traffic, so I hope that gives you a kind of understanding of how BNI works. I'm going to go to this meeting, and then I'm going to afterwards come out and just finish this video log with whatever happened today. So I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, obviously you can contact me through ATP. But like I say, first things first, go out and check to see if your local area has a chapter, and if that chapter has a slot available for photographers. Okay, it's now 3:30. I've just come out of the BNI meeting. Went in at 10:30, did a 1 hour one-to-one with one person, did the usual 2-hour meeting, and then had another one-to-one afterwards. Both one-to-ones were really good, and I got to know these people really well. And they obviously got to know my business a bit better. I find it really helps to actually explain in big detail exactly what I do. So for them to go and refer me, it makes it a lot easier. It's surprising how much you can actually get to know someone in an hour. So for those people, it's going to be easier for me to promote their business as well. And it's very impressive. These are really professional people. So what happened today? Gosh, like I said, it's only my 3rd week of BNI, but today we did the normal meeting, and I was given a contract by somebody. It's an event company. They want me to photograph their next event, and I've actually added to that and said, look, I'll do some video as well, but generally it's going to be photographing the next event. And as part of the deal, I do get paid my usual rate, but maybe knock a bit off and then get myself a free stand at the event, so I can pitch my wares as a commercial and wedding photographer. So I get a free place at an exhibition for a day, and I get paid to do the same thing. And during the time, I'll have an assistant on my stand, and I'll go around and take photos. So for me, that's great. That's already one contract, hopefully in the bag. I've just got to phone them up and meet with the guy and his boss next week to finalise it, and it's for an event in January next year. The other thing was, I've got another job, commercial job with another guy, which is about £450, which will also lead on to regular work with him. So the first commercial job I just mentioned, with an event next year, all being well, will lead on to other events and more work and a contract with them if I do a good job. Then the other one is the same thing. It's a one-off job, which will lead to regular monthly work as well. So today, from those 2 jobs, it's kind of paid for a year's membership of BNI just from one meeting today. So I'm well chuffed, really pleased with how it went. But the final kind of icing on the cake was one of those jobs, which is, it's got the potential of being a massive wedding contract, where I could be the sole official photographer for a company that's just starting up in the area. I'm not going to say too much about it or where it is, but it could mean that I could potentially be the sole photographer for this company for their weddings, and which could lead to a hell of a lot of work, and obviously a lot of business in the future. So am I happy with BNI? I'm pretty happy with how it's working at the moment. Obviously I'm getting work for people as well. I've done something last week for somebody that's potentially going to earn thousands of pounds, and I can't see it not working. If today's anything to go by, it's pretty much paid for the whole year's BNI membership. So I'm really chuffed, really pleased. It's just a case of doing the best I can for these contracts now, getting the work done really well, doing a good job, and then following it up and hopefully getting repeat work from it. And obviously by meeting these people, other things can happen in the future. So you do a good job, other things will come up, and you'll get more contracts, and they will obviously promote you once they've seen you do a good job, and it'll start networking itself out. And obviously all of this is stuff that wouldn't have happened had I not been at the BNI. If I'd have been sitting in my office today, none of this would have happened. So like I've said before, if you're thinking of joining BNI, first of all, find out if there's one near you that's got a slot available for a photographer, and just go in and see how it is. Go along to the meeting. It's free just to check it out, and see how it gets on. And if you think it's a good thing, then I think it's worth joining. If there is another photographer there, you can always do a deal with that photographer that you split your work. So it nearly became the case when I joined that there was another photographer. She would do all the contract work, and I would do all the portraits and weddings. But as it happened, she didn't join, and I get the whole lot, the whole lion's share. So if there is another photographer there, there's always the opportunity that if they're not a wedding photographer and they don't photograph weddings, you can go along and represent yourself as a pure wedding photographer and any other niches that they don't do. So it's worth looking at that as well, even if they have got another photographer. So if you need any questions answering, obviously if you're a member of ATP and you're watching this, then obviously you can speak to me through the site. I think there's a couple of other BNI members on ATP that you can obviously, hopefully will mention it as well, and they can maybe help. But like I say, ask me any questions, but give it a go and let me know how you get on. But this is my video log signing off for now, and it's been a very good day, so I'm going to go home now and have a nice cup of tea and chill out for a bit.